Are you prepared for when the lights go out? Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all extremely well. I want to talk today about Tilly lamps, hurricane lanterns, storm lanterns, the basics. Whatever name you go by, these are a fantastic little item. They come in many shapes and forms, and these are just great for emergencies. Now, I want to talk to you about, things that's going off in the world at the minute, ever pending doom of WW3 and things like that. And a lot of people have these and a lot of people don't. They're basically really simple to operate. You can get them in various sizes, you get some bigger, some smaller, different metals, things like that. As you can see, this one's well used, it's really rusted, really bad. I've had this for years, it's never let me down. It works fantastic. Just takes a little bit of paraffin. You can use kerosene as well. Generally, with kerosene, it's best to keep it outdoors. It does give off a lot of fumes and it gives off quite a bad odor as well. I always stick to paraffin because I can bring it indoors, things like that. This video is more about how to prepare for when the lights actually do go out or if they go out. When you've got things like torches and candles and things, and that's good. But half the time, we've all got a mixture of different batteries in drawers and things like that, and half of them don't fit. Half of them are probably half dead. We never really replace them. We don't really keep a check on them. Half the time, you have to keep pushing the buttons, and the lights don't really seem to work. And they're good for what they are. They're cheap, cheerful, but they just don't last. So something like a storm lantern is absolutely fantastic. Now, these give off a hell of a lot of heat. We're going to do a temperature test on that a bit later on in the testing, and I'll show you a couple of these can really heat up a room. They give you fantastic light. They don't really give off much odor when you use the paraffin. And as you can see, they're a decent size. They're really strong for what they are. The thin metal, I mean, if you was to keep this outside, I keep this one outside when in the summertime and stuff, when me and my partner, we have the fire pit going and things like that. We'll cook on it and they're great for a nice ambiance, the great mood lighting and things like that. But they do generally work for a reason. That's what they're originally designed for. Now, these take about 300 mils of paraffin or kerosene, whichever you want to use. Now, they're pretty simple. For the people that don't really use them or have never seen them before, there's a little lever here, and you just click that up, and that'll basically pop it all open for you. And then you just basically, there's a wick inside there, and there's your adjuster screw. And you just basically light that wick, and that wick's soaking in the paraffin or the kerosene at the bottom, and it's just basically a candle. That's all it is, and it just wicks and lasts and lasts and lasts. Now, these are 300 ml tanks inside here, and you just unscrew that and then pour your paraffin in. Dead simple. Use a siphon for that, it's a lot easier. Now, these last about 20 hours. We're going to do some testing on that as well, because I've had these run for literally days. They're good for hours and hours and hours. So I thought this would be quite good in an emergency situation, which they are designed for anyway. They're cheap and cheerful. I mean, I picked up 3 brand new ones the other day for £20, brand spanking new, still wrapped up, and I'm just going to leave them that way. I'm not even going to use them. That one's slightly bigger, but they're exactly the same design. Nothing's changed in all them years. They do better make ones, but generally they're all cheap and cheerful and they'll all do the same thing. This one I picked up the other day. Now it's worn, it's battered, it's been around 20, 30, 40 years, even more. I got this for £4 and everything works on it. The wick works on it, the lot, and it's the same principle. You just unscrew that and fill that tank up. £4 from an antique shop. That's great. Yeah, it's not the nicest of styles, but in an emergency, who cares? As long as you've got light, no one's really bothered. But it's just an example of what different designs they come in. So I've done a bit of maths on these. Now, I'm not great at maths, as we all know, but you can generally get 5 litres at the minute on eBay for about £12. Now, it's about 5 litres for paraffin. It's a bit more expensive for kerosene. Again, pros and cons with the smell and things like that. I always generally stick to paraffin. Some people say kerosene lasts a bit longer. I don't really try that, so I couldn't really tell you on that one. But I've worked out that for about £12 to fill 300 millilitres at 5 litres, it's about 17 times. Okay. Now that's rounded up to about 340 hours of light and heat, because these do get really, really hot. This radiates heat a lot. And the candle and the plant pot trick that a lot of people try and heat up the homes and things like that work. That's basically the same principle as this. So for 340 hours worth of light, for something that gives off a lot of heat, cheap as chips to run. I mean, I've even used veg oil in these. I won't advise it, it does smoke a bit, but for light, it's fantastic. It works really well. It's a bit thicker of an oil. Paraffin's a bit thinner and a bit lighter, but does exactly the same thing. And it weighs nothing, doesn't smell, doesn't give off any sort of odours or things like that, doesn't leak generally. Most of them will have a seal in the lid. They all have this exact same style and design and all that. They have generally a little seal in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. There is a seal in there. I have filled this for testing purposes. You can get parts for these as well and things like this, and it works really well. And all you do is you can pop this lid up, and this glass, do a demonstration, this glass pulls out, so you can actually give it a clean and maintain it. You can buy these as well. These are generic, pretty much all the same size. I'm not sure how you measure it because they do bigger ones, but I generally think they'll give you the measurements on the advert anyway and things. If you always keep this clean, this glows really well, and I'll show you on the testing how good these really work. And you basically get, it's about 15-ish mil wick, about half-inch wick, and you can buy these wicks on the roll. You can get them in meters for like £1. Doesn't cost anything. They're really basic item to use, and they're just really good in emergencies. And the way things are going at the minute, and a lot of people promote torches and things like that, and that's good. But torches do have a downside. Obviously, you do need power, and you do need to recharge them, or if you've got plenty of batteries spare. But as we all know, batteries don't last forever. They're not always the best. So we'll do some testing on this, guys, and we'll come back to this. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions, because these are great little items. If you've got any different ones, any bigger ones, any different designs, I know you can get, is it Feuerhand? If I pronounce that wrong, sorry. They're a great make. I think they're German. I've got one of them. They're brilliant as well. Pretty much, they're exactly the same. And I just thought, for 20 quid for 3 of them, I think it was £18 or £18.50, something like that. We really need to start thinking about this when the lights go out, because if what I read and hear on the news, like we all do and things like that, stuff's going down and it's not looking good at the minute. So a lot of people are promoting torches and things, but these things they don't last forever. They're great if you can charge it up and stuff, but once the power finally goes out, and the things that charge our power, like batteries and things that charge, these and power banks and stuff, a lot of people on YouTube do power banks and stuff with the solar panels and stuff. But in the UK, we don't get that much light. It takes days and days to charge solar panels and things like that. It just don't work. In the UK, we need to start thinking of other things that, power stations and solar generators and things, they're just not going to work for lights and stuff, I don't think. So I thought I'd do a quick video on showing you the basics and old school. They've been around for donkey's years. They're tried, they're tested, they go through time. They still make them now. they're just a fantastic, great little lantern. So we'll do some testing, guys, and then we'll get back to you. So guys, storm lanterns, what do you think to the review? These things are absolutely amazing. You know, I can't fault these. You know, they're strong, they're durable. I mean, 22 hours, you know, nearly 23. That's that's amazing. And there's still, I don't know if you can hear that, there's still a slight bit left in there. Now, I didn't run it all the way to the end because I didn't want to damage the wick or anything like that. But I mean, for nearly 23 hours, just wow. let me know in the comments if you guys have these, like them, want to buy some, if you have any different designs. I'm always interested in things like this, good fashioned old school products that just work. I mean, it's gone through world wars, these have, and you know, they're pretty much bulletproof. You know, they do work and they are great, and this kicked out so much heat. It was phenomenal. You know, obviously on the testing we did, it got to, you know, just over 100 degrees, and I thought, wow, you know, I had a couple of these going at the same time and it heated the room up lovely. Short disclaimer, I just want to say that please bear in mind this is an open flame. Do not leave it unattended for any amount of time. Keep it away from pets, kids, you know, fabrics, things like that. Always make sure you have plenty of airflow in the house as well, okay? I don't want you guys falling to sleep and not waking up, you know, due to carbon monoxide poisoning, things like that. You know, safety first and all that. But these are fantastic, guys. Please like, subscribe to the channel. I know you guys already are. It's fantastic, the reviews I'm getting back and the feedback and things like that. I love it all, guys. See you on the next one.